Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? This right here is the 2023 Audi S7, and I'm going to show you guys why I think it's the better buy than the BMW M550. Alright guys, so you did click on this video because you want to see how this thing stacks up against the BMW 550i or the M550i, because that's what this thing competes with. It doesn't compete with the M5, that's the RS7, RS6's job. It doesn't compete with the 540i. This is targeted towards the 550. So let's get straight into it. The colorway right here is Aero Gray. It looks nice. It's lighter than a Nardo Gray, but it still complements this car really well. And up front, you do have the black optic package. So everything up front is blacked out on this. This is a prestige trim, so we have a lot of options that we're gonna go through here. Starting with the grille, everything up front's blacked out. Your black Audi rings, the S7 badge, and you have your radar sensors right there. And then the grille slots are blacked out as well. Going on the side here, you do get functional vents, but that rest to the left of it is not functional, which is unfortunate. It kind of just sits there a little awkwardly, to be honest. But coming up top here, you get the LED matrix laser headlights, which look amazing. Your little laser warning right there, you can kind of see it if you peek inside. Boy, this is pretty much the same thing that's on the Audi RS7, or it looks so similar that I can't really tell the difference unless I'm looking at them side by side. But really good, nice LED headlights that have a nice animation to it and look very sinister. I think Audi's grills are iconic. They've been aging so well, in my opinion. Whereas BMW's been making a lot of different design changes for their vehicles from generation to the next generation. And we have the new 5 Series coming on the way very soon. So looking forward to seeing how that stacks up against this. Going up top, you have nice hood lines that really give this a nice athletic stance. And coming around the side here, you see parking sensors. But really what we care about here are these wheels. These are the 21-inch wheels, and they're wrapped in 255/35 tires made by Pirelli. You do get larger performance red brake calipers, larger discs as well, and that's because this is the S7 with the performance brakes. So keep that in mind. Coming to the side here, you have blacked out mirror caps. All the surrounds on the windows are blacked out, but you still get body match framing. It's not blacked out on the top, so you don't get a full kind of black roof section slash design to that. You have your keyless entry and go here, and it folds the mirrors for you. But actually, let's look at the mirror cap real quick. You do get cameras down there as part of your 360 surround view camera. Coming around the back here, you also get rear red brake calipers, which is a nice touch. They're not as big, obviously they don't need to be. And with the rear wheels, this does have all-wheel steering, so the rear wheels do steer as well, in phase at lower speeds, out of phase at higher speeds, to improve both the maneuverability as well as the stability when needed. But come on guys, the back here, this is what makes the A7, the S7, even the R7 so unique, is this design. With the 5 Series, you get a very standard 3-box design. This one, you get the nice swept roof line. And the only other option is an A6. They do have an S6, but there's no RS6. This one, you can get this type of design from the A to the S all the way to the RS, and it's really nice. Coming around the back here, you do get a nice rear tail bar. It is sequential, and it looks really good, especially at night. You get the blacked out Audi badge on the back as well, blacked out S7 badge, and then this is a pop-out spoiler which comes up at speed automatically, and I believe you can lift it yourself if you want from the infotainment system, and we'll get into that. Coming down here, you do get the quad exhaust tipped system. It is a sport performance exhaust system on this vehicle, and I personally like the quad tipped exhaust a lot nicer than the large oval from the RS. Yes, it's iconic to that, but I actually like how this looks and how it fits within the rear bumper really nicely, really nicely. And you do get a rear diffuser here. I don't know how functional it is. It is mostly aesthetic, it seems like, but it's there in case you're curious. Let's open up the trunk here and show you guys the large amount of storage space. It is a full hatch, not just a regular conventional trunk like you would get on a 5 Series, and you get loads of storage space and also a really large access to the rear storage, which you get thanks to a hatch. You get a cover here, but you can remove that if you want to really take advantage of the volume in here. And then right below that, you do get a space saver, but it's still a spare tire that you can use nonetheless. You get nice tie downs here, a 12 volt, and then netting here if you want to just put some stuff that you don't want to roll around a lot. This is nice in aluminum, which not many people highlight. It is a very quality feature of this. It is gonna get scuffed, but it's nice that it is a cold to the touch metal. You also get a privacy screen that's separate up top here. So power closing, and it closes pretty fast. And honestly, once it's closed, it just looks so good. Very elegant. You saw the little turn signals right there, or the tail light kind of light up. So that's nice. But let's open up the hood and talk about what we get under the engine of the S7. So the biggest reason I think this thing competes really well with the M550i is because of the engine. It is an RS engine. It is a RS5 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 that makes 444 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. Gets this thing from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds according to Audi. And on the 550i, you do get a V8. It is a detuned M engine, but this is a true RS engine. It is not, it's like if you took the M3 engine or M4 whatever and put it in the 550i. I feel like that's kind of what they did with this, and I like that. I like that a lot because you get a engine that was supposed to be in the RS5 and it's slapped in here in a larger sportback package. If you think about it, you can get the RS5 sportback, but you can also get this for a larger vehicle as well as more luxury. So I think it's a very unique package. V8s are nice, but this thing does sound really good, and we'll show that when we actually start to drive it. Let's close this out here. And really quickly before we get into the design, this does have adaptable suspension, variable suspension, and this one is, since it's the S7, it is tuned towards more performance driving as opposed to comfort driving. But you do have the options within your drive modes. But let's get inside and talk about the interior, because this one is really nicely equipped and has a lot of nice features that we should go over. Starting with the door panels, this has the extended leather, so you get leather up here. You don't get it down here, but you get this dry carbon inlay, which feels really nice. It's textured. It's not, there's no like clear coat on it, so you actually feel the texture of it. Your unlock lock, memory seats, lift gate, power lift gate right there, individual child lock, which Audi is known for doing. All your switch gear and your mirror controls down there. You have your light controls here, which Audi has, and then you have your controls for your rear and front fog lights. Vents up there with the carbon fiber trim around it. Underneath here you get aluminum pedals. It's a great touch, especially the dead pedal. That's a nice attention to detail. Not a lot of companies do that. Standard floor mats, S on the side sill, and you do get a nice S that illuminates at night. I'll pop a picture of that so you guys can see it. Let's look at the seats here. These are the S black seats with the red diamond stitching, nice bolsters, very nice leather here, and Audi's known for their leather quality. They do a great job on these, on the higher trimmed versions, and it looks really good. Going to the seatbelt here, get a nice red trim around the seatbelt. Let's hop inside, show you one of my favorite features of the interior, which is the flat bottom steering wheel. It's a leather perforated wrap steering wheel with red stitching on the inside. Even the RS5 competition that I drove did not have a flat bottom. This one does, and I like that a lot. Coming up top here, before we even turn it on, we got to look at the extended leather on the dash, which is really premium, feels really nice. Same carbon treatment up here. The vent in the middle, and then a nice accent that goes all the way to the third vent on the right there. Piano black here, which merges into the screen. Let's turn it on real quick. So from the brake, press on that, turns on. We're in dynamic mode, so just keep that in mind there. This is a fingerprint magnet because there are two touchscreens here, two 12.3-inch touchscreens. It's been in Audi's A7 platform for a while, so it does feel a little dated. I will not lie to you guys, but it still works really well. It has Apple CarPlay, it has Android Auto, and you have all your controls for your vehicle settings, your ambient lighting, obviously your drive select, all that stuff. I don't feel like this thing really isn't lacking as far as technical features. It's just the interface that does feel dated. But expecting Audi to have something completely new when they do a full cycle refresh on this vehicle. The piano black here, it will be a fingerprint magnet, but I don't expect people to be touching it too much. But coming down here, yes, so you have your infotainment here, and then you have your climate controls down here. This is a static screen that stays on all the time, so you always have access to your AC vents, which is nice. It is tactile, so you get haptic feedback, which is nice since you don't have actual knobs. But this does take getting used to versus something that is operated just by buttons. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Everything down here is also capacitive touch, but they're fixed buttons. They're not tied to a screen. Start, stop, your park assist buttons, and then your 360 or your Audi safety sense button right there, as well as a physical volume knob and turn signal. One thing I want to talk about is the fact that this thing is hooked up to the 19-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. You can see by the speaker grill right there, you see there's Bang & Olufsen written right there. 19 speaker, around 1800 watts. It's an awesome sound system. Sounds amazing. And that's what this is hooked up to because it has that option as part of the Prestige package. Another thing this thing does have is the 360 surround view camera. So if I go to 3D, I can actually pan around the car, and the cool thing is they even paid attention to the lights on this vehicle. You get the same lights that are on this vehicle. Very nice attention to detail. Really a high quality camera. Nice little fun trick I like to do that I've seen on the internet is you take your hand, you stick it down there, and then your hand will pop out underneath the car. I mean, whatever. Anyway, it's a little nerdy, a little pointless, but you can access your park assist from here. It's a really good camera system, and you get it on here as well. Coming down here, same treatment on the shifter as you do get on the steering wheel. You can go down into drive, knock it over into sport, add a sport automatically, or shifting it yourself. All your, indicators of what gear you're in is down here, park brake, and that is it. I do not see, over here at least, a auto start stop, which this car does have, and it's engaged right now. The RS5, I don't recall it having the auto start stop, so this engine does have auto start stop on this powertrain. Just want to keep that in mind. There probably is a setting in here to turn that on or off on both vehicles. It just wasn't on by default on the RS5. It is by default on this from how I'm getting it from the manufacturer. So keep that in mind. Coming down here, cup holders, your 12 volt, and a dedicated key fob slot. And we'll show you guys the key real quick. It is a older Audi key. It is not the newest, latest, and greatest from Audi. So keep that in mind. It is the older one. You get your trunk and lock and unlock. Nice little cubby right there. So that's great. Let's open up the center console here. You do get a wireless charger that also extends the cell range of your phone, which is nice. That's why you get the little 3 bars coming out of the phone right there. 2 USB-C ports. It is pretty shallow because you ultimately have a gear tunnel down here for your all-wheel drive quattro system. If you guys forgot, we show that right there. Another thing you get on this car is the Alcantara wrapped knee padding. It's kind of hard to see right here, but I have to open the door real quick. To show you guys this. But this has a nice knee pad right here that is wrapped in Alcantara and has red leather stitching. I like this a lot. It's a very nice touch. Just another level of attention to detail on how this one is equipped. Come up top here, you get standard controls for your sunroof, which extends pretty far back. It's not fully, it's not all panoramic, but it goes pretty far back. And we'll show as to why they did that when we get to the rear. And then all your buttons for lights and stuff are up here. Let's hop in the back though and show you guys what you get there. So back here, you do get the same extended leather, same carbon fiber treatment, Bang & Olufsen speaker grill, nice Alcantara and leather, and your door switch right there. A nice little side sill, but the seats get the same exact treatment on the sides. You get the nice seat belts, the diamond stitching. The middle one, they didn't give you the same seat belt. They gave you a black one, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. As far as interior features go, you do have a lot of leg room. I'm sitting behind myself, 5'8", loads of leg room here, as you guys can see. Going to the middle, you do have climate controls back here that are capacitive touch, which is great. You can have an indicator down here to tell you if your child lock is on or off. USB-C ports, 12 volt. I like this a lot. It's a nice interface. It's good for people in the back, and it works. So I don't mind it being in the back because people in the back aren't driving, so they can mess around with this and still get a good experience. And you get vents back here. Coming down with the center console right here, armrest is nice. Opens up. You can fit a normal bottle in here. Nothing much bigger than a regular plastic water bottle. Nice little shelf tray right here, and it's leather wrapped and feels nice. Decent padding. So close that up. Oh. So you got to press it. As far as headroom, the reason they didn't extend this back, as you can see, this is what houses a lot of the components for the sunroof. They scalped it out a nice amount of headroom because they know the S7 doesn't have a lot of headroom naturally. So they actually prioritize that back here, and then they put exactly what's necessary as far as packaging goes for the lights in here. So I like that. Headroom for me is pretty decent. I'm sure if you're taller, have a taller torso, you will have issues, but they did a lot to help as much as possible with this. And then these seats are 60-40 split, so you can grab here, you pull on it, and then it splits 60-40. Very easy to operate. And you have to do it from the seats. You cannot do it from the trunk. Another thing I want to show you guys is this little cubby right here, which has your owner's manual in it, and it's really deep. Like, look how deep it is. So you can put that here instead of having it take up space in the glove box. So, and with it, let's take this thing out on a drive. All right, so let's turn this thing on. Sounds good. I like the sound of this V6 when you're on it. Not necessarily for revving, because you do have that 4,000 RPM rev limiter like you do on the RS5. That's just the way it is these days. But I really like the performance, and I like how it is on this in this package. That's kind of really what I'm trying to get at here. Is this package is effectively an RS like 5.5. Think about it like it's a larger RS5 Sportback. So you get more luxury, but the same powertrain and transmission. So you do get nice shifts. Pull the seatbelt. So driving this thing around, it really is a daily driver package with a little bit of spice. So you get that RS5 engine, same one. You get the same transmission, 8-speed, which works really well, and is just in a larger, more luxurious package. The only difference is seat-wise that I forgot to mention was these are not massaging. The RS5 seats are, surprisingly. So I think it's reversed more for RS trim. I guess that's why they offer it there and not here, which makes sense. You're not going to get everything on that. You don't get the same suspension tuning and treatment. But the nice thing is when you do get on it, which we will go into sport mode here, and then we'll downshift it, force into first. Listen to the farts. This is like the farts are like a little too long. They're a little sus. They're like, you know, but they extend. It's like they're really trying to do it. I don't recall it making that type of sound on the RS5, but I kind of like it. It's got some personality. The shifts are fast. I'm an S dynamic, not paddle shifting it myself, not using the paddle shifters myself. But it is a really nice experience. We can get out of dynamic just by going to the drive mode, drive select, get us into auto, which is still really great. Just tap on that. Oh, see, I missed it. Anyway, I mean, you could toggle through by just continuing to tap it or hit the drive select button, but I'm not doing that. In auto, if I get on it, takes a while. Well, actually, let's see if we can get into manual mode here. In third. It's just not the same, right? Well, you don't expect it to in auto mode. But dynamic mode is really fun. Steering is great. What I love about the steering wheel is a little knob at the end, so you if you're just cruising along, it fits really nicely in your hand. And it just turns off. So this is technically a mild hybrid setup, so just keep that in mind. That's why it's able to be very aggressive as far as the auto start stop engine. Let's get back into sport, but in auto. Woo! That's fun. And you get the pops when you get on it too, and you just kind of dump fuel into the exhaust. A little bit of pops. You don't really hear it because it's so far behind you, but you feel it kind of. It kind of resonates through the cabin a bit. So overall impressions, it drives good. I mean, it's not an RS model. It is an S model. Very nice. Well insulated. You do get sound. This one does have the dual pane glass, so it is extra insulated. But the nice thing is you can still experience exhaust. And if you really want to hear it, you roll the windows down and you give it the pepper. So that's going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.